G'day, Mick from Bridge Rural. Just doing a video on tying off hinge joint onto strainers. We take a fair bit of time and effort to get the squares even, whatever we're doing. This is 890/15 pig netting. We put a lot of effort in tying the pig netting so that the squares are even here as they are there. You see a lot of times the first vertical will be close to the post or far away. Just getting those neat and consistent all the time. So what we do, in one of our earlier videos we've just shown how to strip the verticals off, make that quite a quick easy thing rather than cutting them and just leaving them on. This is tying on 890/30, so it's the biggest square for internal fence here, and so I've cut out and stripped two of the vertical lots. So imagine that I've cut this off here, that's one, so I stripped that one, and so we get left with a good long tail to work with. And then if we've cut this in the right place, it should be just a matter of going to the second dip. Waratah is very good for having the sort of, I think they're for straining, just to keep a little bit more tension on it, the bends in the wire. But we go to the second one. There's the first one and the second one. And so if we go along that all the way down, we get the exact same distance all the way. These tails are all the same, and then this piece that's going to go around the strainer is all the same length. So I'll just go down, and we do this first before putting it anywhere near the post, because then our wires are even for the tying. So I'll just go through, bend these, and then what we do is come to the post, work these around, and that goes around the post. And then what we do is come up and just do each step in a separate stage. So I'll just go through, and so at the moment we're just getting each wire even with the fence to space it evenly. It's cheating a little bit because we've already spaced the other fence, so our spacings are right. And we're just bending these over where we've bent it to start with. You don't want to move that bend because it'll put your length out. That's why the first bit's important, just to get right. And as you can see, as we're tying down, we've already got almost the same size as what our 30 is here. So we're going to end up with a, so the 890/30, so 8 lines, 900 high is the measurement, so 90 high, and then the 30 is the 30-metre spacings. So now we've pretty much got that close, but they're all even. Now we go through, the next step is just folding those tails in all the way down. And I pull them right down so that we end up with a nice tight loop around the wire. So that's the next step. Now that we've got our loop, we're going to pull, work back from the top again, pull our line out, get in the corner with your thumb and push that, and just get the bend round the post, and we've got to get that bend. Chasing that, making sure that our wire going around our post is good and snug, like that nearly won't slide, and work down the post, just getting the bend in the wire even, because as we get down to the bottom here, if it's not bent and these ones are long, what happens is it'll start to pull it. So if we don't do this each step down all of them, you'll end up with them uneven. This is far easier to do in step by step on every single one. So you can see when we've got here, we've got a bend in this one because this one hasn't been pulled tight yet. If you try and tie that off without doing each step, becomes very difficult to get this one right. But because I've gone down all my steps, all of them have got bends, now it's easy. It sits there. Now we're going to go through and just finish off our knots. Bending a little crank handle on it, making sure that our knot pulls nice and tight, because tight makes a neat job out of it. As you get down to the bottom, the crank handles usually need to be a little bit smaller. As the gap goes down, it can be a little more difficult, and then the 8/90/15 is even more difficult again because you're only working with such a tight little space. But with that sequence, it's very easy to get it neat and tidy, and then we just go along. You can snap these tails. I just find it far easier to cut them off. Just quicker, you don't need as much room, you don't need as much tail left over on your wire to snap them when you cut them. Down the portable whiz bin, the paddock whiz bin, and there you have quite an even, a good square. Once that's stapled and strained, those squares are even with that, and you can't tell where one fence finishes, another one starts when you're using the same wire.